What's going on, guys? You already know who it is. It is your boy T-Rod, Tommy Rodriguez,
The sales guy.
and with my boy Sales God over here. We should have did this like 3 to 4 months ago. We had plans to. For those who knew that I sold my Amazon automation business. I've gotten so many DMs in the last 3 4 months. Just why'd you sell it? What was the purpose? Yada yada yada. Those who know that I started doing Amazon dropshipping since 2014. I created, after about a year of my own trial and error, I created and opened up the door, should I say, to become a mentor. Started coaching people, started teaching people. And I did that for a few years. And along that journey, I met my boy Ron in about 16, mid 16. And he eventually became one of my students. And I'm going to be honest with you, the results that he had was incredible. The margins that he was able to produce, 25 to 33% margins doing the dropshipping model that I taught him back in the day. So we've known each other for seven years now,
Yeah.
something like that. And I kind of wanted to dive into real quick why I sold the company, because this is a question I feel like I get all the time, and I try not to answer it too much through the DMs because I knew we were saving the time to do this video. So, as you guys know, that I created Amazon automation in mid 2017. I launched it privately for a lot of my students that I had back in the day. Went public with it in probably about 2018. So about 4.5 years, give or take, maybe even almost 5. I was doing the business model. The business model was still working. It was still lucrative. A lot of people were still making money. I did a lot of testimonials back to back, flying from place to place to place, talking about numbers, talking about the margins, talking about everything that you guys wanted to see. Now, for those who know, I wanted to do more things in my own personal life, with being more involved with my daughter's soccer games that that I go to learn how to scuba dive, to learning how to skydive, to getting certifications, just doing a lot of other hobbies. And I wanted to have a little bit more peace.
I kind of feel like it's everybody's goal, though, right?
Huh?
I don't want to kill your vibe, but that's everybody's goal, right?
Pretty much.
Right.
And if you look at some of the toppest people that, like Jeff Bezos stepping down, and a lot of other people eventually want to step down from something, the legacy that they built, that they created. So there was no bad reasons on why I wanted to get out of the company. I wanted to get out. Also, I wanted to be able to leave it in the hands of somebody that I could obviously trust. Somebody who's also been alongside with me, that also knew even some about FBA from when he was doing dropshipping, which was, again, my boy Ron. So, again, the reason why I sold it is just purely simple. I wanted a little bit more peace in my time so that I could do more hobbies, do more things. But I also wanted to make sure that the legacy that I left behind was going to be in good hands for you guys, so that you guys can get the margins and the numbers and the same results, if not better, in the hands of my boy Sales God.
Right. Right. And I think there's another part of that, too, right? With time, there's always transitions, and you can't expect everything to be the same as it was before. Like, if you come to the same mentor and he's produced a lot of results, it's not the same price today that it will be, tomorrow, right? Same price tomorrow, it's not the same as it was yesterday. Well, the same method kind of flows, especially with something that's like $1 trillion company as of Amazon. And I approached Tommy before he had the liberty of stepping down, and I honestly wanted to implement FBA, and I had no problem coming in and consulting on how we could convert all the investors that were ready to go. And I think that Tommy was at a point where, like what he had communicated, he was ready to spend time with his family. He's done a lot of things. If you don't mind muting some notifications on that phone, do you know how to do that? Swipe down on the right side.
Yeah, good. You should be good. Most of them should
Which is,
go off.
I mean, it's entirely fine. It's entirely fine. But we do want to make sure that we aim to give the best, right? And I don't ever want to give less than what I can deliver, because you guys are a complete byproduct of what I know, what I can make sure that you guys receive, and also I want something that you guys can actually talk about. And we're in a position to where there's so much footwork that was put in once the acquisition took place, and Tommy knew it was going to come because of everything he's seen me personally go through. Specifically, warehouse acquisition and buying the warehouses to be able to reallocate those products, because you cannot get any kind of distribution acquisition to where we can create a relationship with certain people, connect you guys with those distributions, because I don't have a warehouse that's in play. Now, you have some of these people that maybe they're running these storage units and they're saying that they're warehouses. They're not. There are certain places that you cannot even get distribution connections if you can't show that they're climate controlled. I need a climate controlled warehouse to be able to even get brand authorization to sell some of these products that are acquiring higher profit margins. So in order for us to do that, we had to get the warehouse. I had to get a wholesale license to be able to redistribute, which we've done. We've got the distributions acquired. We've transitioned over close to like 220 people, and we're still working on knocking out everybody, line item by line item, and giving them all of the single things that they need. But I also need you guys to communicate with me, because I can't convert you if you guys aren't communicating with me. Here's the difference. Dropshipping's great. You leverage credit. You guys are going to turn over a 12 to 18% margin?
Give or take.
My average is 20 to 40%. I can guarantee you your money back. I can appreciate your asset before you've even started. I'm all about big money. Nothing's ever really changed. And me and Tommy work the same way, and this is a great thing about me being able to pay him in order to acquire this, because I have a different direction. I don't mind doing it because I've done it time over time with a multitude of people. So it didn't bother me doing this again. Like it's fine. Like this is more my element. The other was his. But if you guys come in and you do this and you get an appreciating asset, now it's compounding year over year. It's cash flowing month over month. I'm making sure you guys get an asset that acquires on all variables. And it starts with the distributions and being acquired with the right company. So if you guys want something that actually has some kind of back end actually involved, I'm not opposed to having you guys fly in if you guys ever want to come visit these warehouses. You guys are already going to get set up with the distributions as soon as onboarding starts. If you guys want to go to Colombia with us and you want to see what the vetting team has processed, almost as soon as the newest year, we did discontinue having the St. Lucia team. I actually moved them into the Sarasota office that we currently have acquired. It's a pretty big office. It's about 1,100 square feet. It's 2 offices that are currently attached, but I think it's best if we can keep everything closest. That way, if anything is dire or immediate, I don't have to do a chain of emails. I can make sure that somebody can come to somebody else and you guys can get contacted almost immediately. So it's more of just trying to fixing and bridging certain gaps, right? And what would you say, honestly, when you were in certain positions? I know you allocated a lot, and me and you talked a lot about business. Getting a chance to step away and making sure you could delegate out. What made you feel like you were uncomfortable delegating to certain people, or what did you see like it posed problems?
What do you mean?
When you put certain jobs onto certain people, did you ever have a problem with stepping away?
I had a problem with not making, especially a lot in the beginning, when you delegate jobs and you run a big company, it's hard to know who's doing the work and who's not doing the work.
Right.
Throughout time, even during the beginning of my process, I had people in here that claimed they were doing one thing but steal money behind my back, not doing the right things, not communicating with the clients, not handling email support, not doing the things that I thought they were doing because I trusted them so much that I literally gave them and delegated my, like certain positions to them to make sure that they would do the job. And I would pay them very, rewardingly. I think one of the things about being a CEO, that's also the hardest thing to do, is that if you don't have eyes everywhere checking this person's work, that person's work, you never know what you're going to get into. And eventually, obviously, I put a good team together, and even throughout the process, Ron has been there pretty much for quite some time, for literally for the marketing, for the ads, for being a part of the company for a very long time. So he's seen a lot of the in and outs, and they were always been able to deliver everything that they said they were going to do. Again, one of the reasons why it was so easy for me to be like, hey, look, I want out of this because simply I just want to do more things. Nothing was going bad with the company. Nothing like I've had people ask about Kevin David and this person and that person. Like, it had nothing to do even with like what was going on with them. It was just more for me so that I could step away and be more at peace, knowing that I could not have to, what I post on my Instagram, whether I got backlash from my lawyer or from this person or from that person. Huh?
Me?
Yeah, from him. And because people would see it like, hey, look, we understand this is your Instagram, but you are the face. And a lot of people, when they were signing up for, Amazon Automation, it was because, hey, look, I didn't sign up for Automation Empire. I signed up because of you. So when you hear that from even from current clients, it was like I had to learn how to be careful with what I say on my Instagram because I couldn't talk about certain things that you guys see me talk about now. How I dress, right? I'm still in gym clothes right here. I should have came a little more presentable, but I guess this is my retired income, retired clothes. But
I'm in rib jeans, man.
but the point is, you guys also knew that we helped you guys get results at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, it's like I just wanted again more peace. I wanted to be able to do more things. I wanted to be able to control my own Instagram because for me, I felt like at that point I was working for somebody else, CEO of the company, but it felt like I still had a boss tell me what to do, what to post, how to, and I was like, this isn't what it used to feel like, especially when before I had a lot of the people in play, and I understand why they wanted me to say or do certain things, but that just didn't really sit well with me for a long time because I didn't feel as free as I should have felt. So again, he's one of the few people that I feel like if I got rid of the company, he's going to be one of the people that I actually trust to not just let it burn and let it, just fall to the ground.
Which is why I feel like maybe let go might be the wrong terminology versus helping it propel. I was one of the people that he trusted very close, and I was on his ass a lot, a lot, if we're being honest. And I think that might be why he was most comfortable when I was like, look, if you're serious about stepping away, the only person you can give it away to is me. If it's not me, then obviously we have a serious issue in this relationship, this dynamic. For those that don't know, in that little bit of time, a lot of times you guys will see like regurgitated information about people wanting to build the right circle or surround yourself with the right people. And very early on when I mentored with Tom and he saw the results, it was almost so crazy that he didn't even believe me and he called bullshit on it until he had a chance to sit down and saw that it took a lot further than what was originally taught, because as soon as I saw money, I saw additional profit. There always has to be a way that you can break the system or create the system in a sense that there's something else being done by somebody else that's making more money than you, and I need to figure it out. And I did quick. That's the reason why we ended up creating such a strong bond and relationship. We had a different type of work ethic.
Same result though, if not better.
Better for sure. But work ethic for sure, because that's the hardest thing to find. A lot of people will talk about work ethic, but a lot of people have a hard time with the implementation. The reason why me and Tommy clicked so well is because the implementation could be fake. The results were right in front of his face. I want to provide those same results for you guys. It's also the same reason why he was the best man at my wedding. I have relationships with people that have been in my life for 2, if not 3 times longer than him. However, he's had a drastic impact on my life, and he knows that, and we've been able to build a better and stronger relationship because of that. And it goes both ways, like transparently.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why it wasn't a sense of conversation. He did have somebody else too. You could tell him too. He had somebody else that offered more money for the company. He didn't tell me about it until after I signed for it. Then I saw the paperwork for it, and he was just like, I know my investors will be in better hands because I know what you can do. So I feel more comfortable with handing this over to you than I do with him. Right?
Absolutely. It's not always about money. It's about longevity. It's also about your legacy, something that I created. You guys are watching this. Some of you guys may still not even know about Amazon automation, but if you've been following me, following Sales God and Automation Empire, then you obviously understand the business model and what it is and what it entails. But at the end of the day, you guys will see or have seen so many people come out of the woodworks now and doing Amazon automation. We're going to run your stores. We got this warehouse. We got that. It's like, it's a lot easier to duplicate once you understand how the business model already works. It's another thing to actually get creative and actually come out with this idea. And then once you do that, you got to go through the trials, the tribulations, the bullshit, the headache, creating the service, creating the system, creating the product. It's easier for people to piggyback off what they see is already working.
Well,
so I feel like for a lot of other people, once they've seen what I was able to do and they found my flaws in my system, they learn how to like create their own, make it better, or just duplicate what I'm already currently doing.
Let's talk about this though, 'cause
Yeah.
this is really, really important. Based off of what you just said, how many people did you have that tried to piggyback off based off of what me and you talked about, what you launched, where I added in some information in order for you to be able to even launch this in the first place, and then all these other people that followed, they didn't even do it the way that we created together.
Yeah.
There was no team. They were all VAs. They didn't have in-house anything. They didn't have in-house employees. There was no app that was created. There was no service. There was no ticket. There was no like in-house operation. Like literally none of that was done outside of what me and Tommy put together for a different service. That's the reason why it was bought. You know how many people are in drop shipping and they run these automation companies and they're like, you sold your company out? How's that possible? But because he owned it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't own theirs. I think they actually thought it was bullshit. It wasn't possible.
People still question it now, like, still why. I mean, again, I already answered why in this video, obviously a couple times now, but once you actually have the team, you own the offices, you have employees and not VAs. And again, once I even started doing that and making that shift, like a while ago now, like years, like people have all now tried to say, oh, we have now employees, we have a team, we have this. And they, again, some people are trying to mimic, trying to copy, trying to do this, trying to do better. I mean, you know, imitation is the best form of flattery, and I definitely was flattered. But at the end of the day, I think for a lot of people that have been trying to mimic and copy my model, I always found it very amusing, and I found it, you know, flattering again at the same time. Because, again, it's just crazy because when I created this, I really didn't think it was going to blow up how it blew up, for one. And two, I really didn't see myself or see other people mimicking and copying, which is why I always had to keep adapting, shifting, doing things that I knew that they weren't going to do, putting money, you know, where I had to put money so that I could separate myself from other people who were just trying to copy. I knew other people weren't going to put $500,000 or $1 million back into an office, a structure, this, and this. And again, because the fact that they weren't doing that, they wanted to go out buy more Rolls Royces or Lambos or watches or this and this.
Right.
It just made it so much easier to stay ahead of my competition, you know, while they're way back there, man. So it's still been a crazy experience, and I still think now people are very doubtful, like, that I sold the company. But, and, you know, obviously I'm doing this video. It's not like a farewell video, but it's more like I'm still here. I'm still going to obviously, you know, help obviously my boy Ron out, help the company out, like in just terms of like being on the back end, still giving a good word, still making sure people, if you know, are investing into any money into this company, you guys know where you're putting your money. Right. So I just wanted to, again, come on here and just kind of get clarification for anybody. Again, we can't really see a lot of the comments that are coming down
We'll go through the Q&A.
on this video.
We'll go through a Q&A.
Yeah.
I want to talk about, too, the transition that I was really big on wanting to propel what we've done in, I say 90 days for the people that were in the live 2 weeks ago, because what a lot of people don't know, even though we acquired it in September, we weren't approved by the state. So I couldn't get my name on any documents, I couldn't open any bank accounts, I couldn't get the warehouse open, no distribution could be started because Tommy's name was still on it, even though I wanted to make all the changes. It took that long. So in under about, I won't say under, 90 days, I've already had the majority of the clients already turned around and people have already started to become profitable. I have one of the very first clients. I will be traveling, which is one of the very first things I implemented with Tommy, was traveling to investors to do these live interviews. It's one of the marketing and sales things that we first have implemented with Tommy, and you would say it proved relatively successful, right?
Very successful. A little tiring though, just doing all that traveling.
He didn't want to do it.
Nah, but you know, I enjoyed meeting the clients. I enjoyed talking about them results in person. Again, just something that nobody else was doing. Everybody was just posting screenshots or this and that. Could be Photoshop, could be fake. And I'm sure some people could say that about the testimonials, but I know for me, I wasn't gonna fly all the way to New York or California, do all these live videos with people just to stage some BS. Like, this was real, live, documented with a lot of people. And again, when you have so many clients, when you have thousands of clients, it was very hard to, like, obviously do every single one. And after I think I did about 18 or 20 plus, and then I was like, all right, I need to chill for a little bit now. I'm getting exhausted, I'm tired. It was just, you know, kind of a lot for me to also balance gym life, personal life, and do a lot of other things that I wanted to do personally. But
and he was also, I would say this too, like, Tommy's really good about doing what every entrepreneur talks about online, which is diversifying income. I do the same thing, and I have a lot of those avenues already set up, but I did give up my sales and marketing agency to explore this entirely. I will not tire out after going through that many people, because this is where my main focus is purposefully right now. I'm gonna do the first one at the end of the month, so you guys can get an exact example what the first 90 days was like, based off of somebody that's been selling only for 60 days. He's done relatively well, really well. He's a firefighter out of New Jersey. And I have 5 other people that are already lined up and they're ready to do the same thing with me. It's just a matter of getting to them and making sure that I can still take care of operations. Right? And we will do it. We're going to do it. And I'm going to make sure that I give that to you guys. The most important part too in this, if you guys keep up with investments, and you guys are big investors, and I would hope that you guys stay mindful of things that are involved with investments, is make sure that the companies don't go under that you invest with. Every interview and every testimonial and every single type of screenshot of performance results will all be FTC and SEC compliant. We're very thorough on that. A lot of people are getting fined right now. It's putting companies under, and they're not even necessarily doing anything wrong. A lot of people have asked why we haven't shown results. Our legal team has jumped through hoops to make sure that we've done it right and making sure that we're not getting hit. Like Celsius just got hit with 7.9 million. You had Jenna, I don't remember her
influencer,
last
fitness
name.
influencer, 1.9 mil or something.
Yep, 6 months. She got a 0 to 6 months fitness program for weight loss, and because it didn't meet her average, not because the results were wrong, I didn't meet her average clientele, she got fined.
But imagine that, like, you're still not doing anything wrong and still getting hit with a $1.9 million fine because maybe she didn't use the right wording, didn't say the right thing. I mean, it's as long as we've been in business, even from my coaching days to Automation Empire, I can tell you right now, never been hit by the FTC. I've never been in a lawsuit. Never had anything against the company in terms of legal matters. So we've tried to do everything by the book. We've tried to do all the right things, and obviously, with all the shifts and the FTC coming out, a lot of people obviously they're making shifts to make sure that it stays that way. Again, with so many clients, you would think that we would run into so many issues legally from a legal standpoint, but we had so many people make their money back and then some. Of course, like any business, any service, you're always going to have some disgruntled people or people that, didn't get the Lamborghini in 2 months and got upset, or that, they over leveraged themselves and they spent money that they knew that they couldn't spend and they didn't make their money back in 3 months.
Right.
I've always given you guys a proper timeline on when you would make your money back when you guys were under my regime, so to speak.
Which is a good segue. It's a good segue. So I guarantee that you guys will actually have it's legally implemented into the paperwork. If you guys do not make your money back within 24 months, I owe you money back. Nobody else is doing
something
that.
I wouldn't even fucking do.
That's
great.
I'm guaranteed on it. Plus, within 12 to 18 months is actually the expected ROI time frame based off the income I have. I've pretty damn close got a couple people already back, and we've been running a very short amount of time. But let me wow you with results based off of what's coming, and then I would much rather under-promise, over-deliver any time of the day. It's just going to make me look better. It'll make you happier. You're going to refer a lot of people, and that's exactly what I want. That's what I want. I don't want to be another person that's just talking and showing a bunch of flash and looking at my Lambo and my yacht, and I don't give a damn about that. We're all here to make money. Let me show you money. Let me show you happy people. So
Also,
I'll give you money and happy people.
Look at the market too, by the way. Like, look at how many things aren't making money right now.
Fact.
Look at the stock market. Look at even many real estate cases. There's just a lot of things that are not making money, and there's a lot of people in, like, even my social media space that I know, e-commerce to this, and this. A lot of people are having to trade in their watches right now, trade back in their cars. Like, people are going broke because they over-leveraged themselves. They didn't have a sustainable business model.
Fact.
They didn't know how to adapt. They didn't know how to shift. And you may not notice it from the outside because a lot of people will take videos when they have the nice things, save it for a rainy day to post 6 months later, 8 months later to keep up certain appearances to make it still look like they have the money, have the lifestyle, whatever the case may be.
Well, they
but
collect money, right?
Of course.
But let's be real. Crypto's been on a downslide.
Yep.
Forex has been on a downslide. Real estate's on a downslide right now. Here's the big thing that I like to communicate to people because they think that a market's going to drop. No matter what, you need product essentials. And the majority of us all buy on Amazon. And that actually won't stop.
Yeah.
Because most of us don't even like to go out and shop anymore. So you can continue to shop on Amazon, and that's great. But do you want to be the person only spending money on Amazon, or do you want to be one of the people that's collecting money off of Amazon?
Yeah.
That's really, really important for you to think about and manifest. This is one of those business models that's almost bulletproof because it's a one-stop shop. There's a reason why it's one of $2 trillion companies.
And again, that's why he also was putting it legally in the contract, saying that if you don't make your money back within a certain period of time, he actually owes you money. Again,
I'm fucking confident.
I
I'm very confident.
personally, even when I was running the company, I had a lot of people ask me if I wanted to do that. But I guess I think a little bit different that if somebody invests into something, no matter how good it is, you understand, what you're getting into. Because I've done so many investments, I'm at a point where I've lost money, gained money, haven't seen money back in years, and $500,000, $1 million, whatever the case is, and I understood as long as I was being told everything up front. And I think obviously with them and with their new contracts and everything, I mean it's very transparent for you guys. So on top of just being upfront and transparent about what you can expect, you now also have a legal guarantee, which again, to me, I think that's kind of crazy just because like I wouldn't do that, but I think it's a great idea that he's doing it. It doesn't mean that I wasn't confident in what I was selling. It just means that we think a little bit different just in terms of that. But if he wanted to roll that out, it just really makes the cherry on the the cake or the icing or whatever you want to call it 10 times better for you guys. So like you guys really don't have much to lose.
The process doesn't change, right? We repeat successful actions when we want successful results. And one thing that we didn't talk about was after I came off of this is Tommy really wanted to push me into mentoring when he took over automation. He had a lot of people exploring him, but he only trusted one person to do it. I was really resistant because I didn't want to move outside of myself. I had already ran a big team in my previous business prior to doing this. It was nice making a lot of money myself and not having to deal with any kind of obligations. It's truth.
That's why
I'm human.
That's why I like my retirement. No obligations.
I'm human. I'm human. I'm allowed to go through it too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I ended up doing 50 families' lives change because I had one traumatic story that happened to me during Christmas time. Within the first 3 people I took on, I found out really fast, don't accept credit cards, because as soon as I finished the training and he started making money, I got a charge back on a credit card. The second one was don't pay through PayPal, because I got a reversal through PayPal.
PayPal sucks.
Technically it was 3. I also had a Photoshop wire where I started the training and I got through the first 2 days before I realized that the wire was not going to hit.
Photoshopped, right?
It was Photoshopped.
Everybody knows the price of everything, but a lot of people don't know the value of it. At the end of the day, and people who do that, like, first off, they may make a little bit of money, but I promise you, those kind of people will quit. They'll throw in the towel. They're gonna go back to broke. Karma's gonna hit them at the end of the day. Like when you make an investment in something, doing chargebacks and silly shit like that, I think it's just for the weak. It just means that you didn't understand. And again, especially if everything is being upfront, like I think that's for me is so key. And I was always so transparent when I was running the company, and obviously Ron's not gonna change that.
Right.
He's just gonna be as transparent as I was. But being transparent in the business, the good, the bad, the ugly, what you can expect, what you can't expect, makes people a little bit more comfortable. Even if you're hearing the the uncomfortable truth, it's better than the comfort and lie.
It's true.
At the end of the day, and it causes less problems or less people to come in that don't understand the risk. And for me, I didn't want to give people the comfort and lie versus the uncomfortable truth.
Well, okay, all right. Second side to that. So I went through the 3 hardships, right? And I'm sure you guys all remember Lion King, Disney movie, right? Like,
what's that?
Dick. This is why I love him, by the way. So in Lion King, you got the uncle that ends up killing off the father, blames the son runs away, right? And he feels a lot of trauma because of what's going on, and a lot of that hindered me because I thought I was pushing a lot of people off, and I had escaped, what a lot of people would either call the Matrix, or they would call, this 9 to 5 framework, and I tried my best to deliver that. I just feel like I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. But what ends up happening in that movie is he ends up coming back and he earns the respect once he delivers the value. He gets that one sense, that perspective change, and he finds out that everybody is being treated not the way that they're supposed to be treated, and he could be the pinnacle point of the difference. That ended up happening when I received a phone call on Christmas, December 17th, and I had one of the people that studied with me called me, and him and his wife broke down crying, and they, just to be very clear with you, I would not take people that took loans at the time, because I didn't want to put anybody in a sense of prosperity where they were over leveraged.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that to people. because now it creates hardship. Now I would do it myself, but not everybody is us.
Yeah.
So I can't set that expectation on other people. However, they told me they believed in what was going on. They saw the process. There were 7 or 8 different loans that were taken out. They got accepted on the 8th one, which is crazy because it's almost max credit inquiries before you go in the red. And they had enough to go through what was the $3,000 process at the time, and they were able to afford Christmas presents, a table, invite their family over, groceries, a Christmas tree, and I teared up. I cried a little bit. And after that happened, I changed my perspective from being cheated from 3 people to, all right, I'm going to do this for 50 families' lives changed. I just got to be smarter about the way I do it. And I think that everybody has that transitional point. Everybody has that. And it would be it would be very unfortunate for me to take that away from other people. So when I found out that Tommy wanted to let it go, I think it made the most sense for me, because I've already done this once, for me to let go of the sales and marketing in order to give this to other people, because I'm already doing it on a daily basis. I know what can be achieved. I know what can be acquired. I know how much money you can make, and that's also why I have no problem guaranteeing it.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
It has not changed. Like, there's always going to be small adaptations, but who doesn't make those changes in business? There's no way you've been telling me you've been running the same shit for the last 6 years. It's not possible. It is not possible.
At the end of the day, every business is, you're going to need to adapt at some point. You know, that you adapt or you evolve. Or you perish. Excuse me. And I've learned that in business. I know when I first got started with, when I created this, many of you guys know that I was on Grant Cardone, Ask the Pro. At the time, Ron, he was working with me. I don't know, maybe he wasn't. I don't know if he was, or he was getting ready to come in. Now, if you know that I was on Ask the Pro back in the day, I had less tattoos. I was a little fluffier, not so good looking back in the day, huh?
You didn't look as good as me.
Yeah, and anyway, so after I was on that show, literally my phone, my emails, like everything blew up, and I was so underprepared that I thought I was going to fold up like a cheap tent, because I didn't know what the hell I was getting into, right? Like the business, like I had literally like 10, 20, 30 plus 40 people trying to call my phone, trying to email me a day, constantly. I would be at the gym. I couldn't work out. I was doing all the calls. I was doing all the customer service and myself.
You did your best.
And honestly, I got almost exhausted, burnt out, and I was at a point where, again, like I said, I wanted to fold up. Like it was very overwhelming. I did not think being on that show and seeing that I was like the only guy in the space doing Amazon automation. So it was different. People thought it was foreign. They didn't understand it. And the best way to explain this to anybody watching the video, it's like a digital asset. If you hire property management to manage your apartment complex that you just bought, or a house or a condo, or villa, they do most of the legwork for you. They collect the rent, they make sure cleaners are going through the house. They do all that so that you can go on your private island, whatever it is that you want. That was the same concept with Amazon automation when I got the idea, because back in the day, my own stores were being ran for me. But I will tell you that you guys basically have this new business model that you're doing with, Ron and Automation Empire, but you have the 4.5-5 years worth of struggles right here, right now, that literally took years to build up to get to this point, to be able to transition, to shift. So for those who are like, hey man, I wish I got in with you when you first got started with, your Amazon automation business, right now would be probably the best time to come in because this is like a new chapter, a new direction, a new thing. But yet, again, with 4.5+ years of experience of already the systems, the leverage, the metrics, everything that's already put in place from years and years worth of hard work. Yeah. So for me, I honestly think this is even underpriced at this point, to be honest with you. And I could see them, depending on where they are in the next 6 to 12 months, going up to $250,000 just for a freaking package. I'm just being honest with you guys. Would it be worth it? Absolutely. If 9 out of 10 people are making X, Y, and Z, or 10 out of 10 people are making a certain amount of money, you best freaking believe that I feel like this is going to be worth so much more, obviously as the company keeps growing, to be honest with you.
Skip the camera too. He's not wrong. You need to readjust that really quick. He's not wrong. I dropped the price of what we're ruling out because I think that you should prove what you're worth. And I took it upon myself to step back in the personal branding space because it was a little weird for me. There was an event that me and Tommy went to. I'll do a little transparent talk with you guys really quick. And then we're going to do a live Q&A too. So guys, stick around too. If you guys have questions that are in the chat, there's so many that populated. I came from making no money to making a lot of money really, really quick in the online space. And then I went to a 10X event with Tommy, and everybody knew who we were, which is uncomfortable to me because I, again, within 6 months made nothing and became something. And I didn't like the fact that people were coming up to us and wanting to take pictures with us. Like, I had no idea who you were. And for anybody that followed me back in the day, I quickly changed my name from Ron to Roan's World.
Yeah.
I knew that if anybody ever approached me in public and they called me Roan, they didn't actually know me in person.
Yeah.
And I tried to do this as a quick tell because I just had my first son. I wasn't like susceptible to making a lot of money. This was like very new to me. It was a new idea, and I thought, you know, I'll stick to my strong suit, and I will sell and I'll market for other people that want to do this and they want to live this lifestyle. I don't want to be any kind of celebrity. Just unfortunately, I've been brought to a higher calling based off of where my business mind has kind of taken me and what I can offer to other people. And that's why things have changed and they've transpired. Amanda, if you could I'm going to have you step in, and if you could read off some of these questions in the Q&A on the phone.
Which phone?
Either. Doesn't matter.
Also, keep in mind, if you've been following me for a long time, my name used to be
yours?
Laptop Lifestyle 781, like in 2018. I made the profile in like 2014, and eventually I think in like 18-ish, maybe even early 19. Obviously, I got the name T-Rod. Always wanted that name. I just didn't know how to grab that name. So, been T-Rod ever since. But yeah, it's been one hell of a journey. I just turned 35 like 4 months ago, and it's like, you know, I started my whole journey at 24 years old, man. So, like, and that's a whole nother story within itself. But if you were to tell me 10, 11 years, almost 11 years ago now, like, man, like, you'd be here, you'd be driving Lambos and millions of dollar homes and this, and having a good group, a circle of good people, good friends. You know, I got 2 kids that are healthy, daughters playing soccer. It's like, it is truly crazy, and it is truly, in a way, like a very humble experience to know that I've came from in and out of juvie, locked up, to being homeless at 17 years old, to literally doing a 180 with my whole life and being able to bring other people up with me, and on top of that, change thousands of other people's lives. And I've been forever grateful for that, and I'm obviously very grateful for the content I put out for you guys now more than ever, because now I can just talk about whatever the hell it is that I want on my Instagram, no matter how silly it may sound or stupid. But it's freeing, and it still gives people different perspectives. So,
I love you.
Yeah, one love, buddy.
I love you. Yeah. It goes 2 ways, man. It's been a very, very, very long journey coming from counting change to buy groceries to where we are right now and being able to provide people providing. So I'm glad that you guys take the time to tune into this. I'm going to take a second to let someone step in, and they're going to start from the top, and we'll scroll through. We got about 15 minutes to read.
What time is it?
Only 3:45.
He said 30 minutes. Okay. I was just kidding. How many people does it say that's on this one right here?
3 to 4, right?
Yeah.
All right.
How many people are?
Yeah, on mine.
137.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Well, that's not too bad. Okay, so why don't we can bang out a few questions if you want, the good and the bad, the ugly. I really don't care. I like to
Let's
be.
start with the ugly. I
Yeah.
like doing that first.
Okay.
Crush
go
me
ahead.
so I can crush
Well,
you.
I've been watching the whole time, so the main questions I keep seeing are, how do people contact you to get started if they want to become involved?
Okay, so either DM me or click the link in my bio and you can book a call. I would say the fastest is to DM me. I have a team of people that are currently in those right now. They're really fast acting. Ever since the acquisition, based off what we were doing prior and now what we're doing, I receive anywhere from like 200 to 300 DMs a day, which is a lot for me to go through on top of like taking care of operations. But now I have a team in there, and they will respond to you within 24 hours. If you need a quicker response, book a call directly in my link in my bio.
How much to get started?
Can you hear her?
Yep.
Okay. We have a few different packages. So we have a 15K package, we have a 20K package, and I also have a 35K package. It just depends on what profit split you guys want. These are all fast acting prices too. please don't book a call and waste my guys' time. If you guys are gonna take 30 days to inquire or actually acquire an asset, wait to book the call. You guys can text us, ask us questions on the Automation Empire page if you want to. But I do have fast acting because, I mean, you know how it goes.
Yeah.
The people that act first get the quickest reward and the best reward possible. That's always served across every business platform since literally the beginning of time. I will give you 10K off. Every 7 days it does increase 5K. I'll tell you that. We do have a cap marker, so if you do a 70-30 split and you buy within the first 7 days, it's 35K. If you wait after 14 days, it's 45K.
Can you use credit cards for inventory?
I would prefer you do not use a credit card, but I do have somebody else that you can liquidate a credit card through. That's not a cash out advance that's going to charge you like 18%. It's only 2.7%. I'll show you how to set up a profile. It's really, really quick. The reason why I can guarantee you guys margins from 20 to 30%, and I can give you guys a cash back money guarantee, is because I'm doing money pool liquidity. I'm doing margins based off of how much wholesale I'm buying at once, which is giving me accessibility to prices and products that most people cannot do. It's better for me to go through the headache so I can give you better, not less.
Better's always great.
Fuck yeah, it is.
Language.
Difference better than better. No, that deserved it. That one deserved it.
And guys, if just off topic, we have another camera over here that we're looking at, so I don't know if any comments are like, hey,
Yeah.
just that. I know how people are ADD. There's another camera that we're looking at. So
That's him, actually.
Yeah,
that's why he's
I'm
not there.
ADD. Okay. I don't give a shit.
Do either of you have a mentorship available?
I discontinued mine when I acquired this because I don't have time for anything anymore, but I will bring it back in March. So based off of business or sales communication, I'll start a very small mentorship group. It will not be very big. I will meet with you guys twice a month. I'll also give you guys homework, and it's a 12-month annual time frame.
For me, I personally don't have one. I'm enjoying retirement, personally, and I do get a lot, like how much to coach me, how much to consult with me, and I'm just gonna be brutally honest, like there's really not a lot of money that's even worth my time, and I'm trying to say that as humbly as possible. Like if I were to step out of retirement and I have to meet with you, make calls, do this, do that, it would really be a lot more than I'm comfortable charging currently right now, because I'm just enjoying waking up in the morning, doing whatever I want, going to the gym.
I'm working on changing that.
Huh?
I'm working on changing
Yeah,
that.
going in my pool butt ass naked. I don't really care. Like I'm enjoying just the freedom of not being obligated to anybody, right? But it doesn't mean I don't want to help you guys. It means that I do know people that I can connect you to depending on what you're also trying to get into. I do have a lot of connections, and I do know a lot of people that, depending on what it is that you're trying to do, I can also point you in the direction. And I really don't want nothing for that. I just want you to, whatever you're doing, I want to make sure that you're trying to change your life. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, like so.
Same thing too.
That's it.
If the mentorship doesn't fall into your category, just ask me. I got somebody somewhere.
Yeah.
People still seem a little bit confused about the credit card comment. Can they use credit cards to purchase inventory?
It's easier for you guys to use liquid capital because you don't get charged interest off of it. I don't want to. I personally do not like to use anything that I get charged interest off of, but if you ever want to use a credit card, I do have a liquidity pool, and I have a person that you can go through for wholesale specifically and swipe a credit card, and they will exchange it for liquid cash at a 2.8% rate. If you go to any other bank for a cash advance, it is anywhere from 18 to 22%. It's not that here. It's just 2.8. The only reason I'm saying not to do it if you don't have to is because it's still 2.8%. It takes away from margin. I want to make you more money, not less.
Makes sense.
What were you going to say?
Oh, I was going to say, like, I assume for anybody maybe watching, maybe something down the road you could offer is, if they wanted to use a credit card, like a worst case, and they don't want to liquidate, maybe a contract that you could put in that makes them send it to their bank, saying that they authorized this transaction, could always be a good way too.
Already happens.
Already happens. Then,
Yep.
well, then there
Already
you fucking
on it.
go.
Do you have funding options or?
I do have lending options. If you guys have good credit and you want to take out like a private loan, a certain type of equity, I have 2 different providers you guys can go through.
They're asking about how we get relationships with distributions.
I'm pretty good at communicating. So when we bring back that mentorship, if you guys want to learn how to do that, if you guys didn't take GCA, I'll teach you how to do it. But outside of that, it's just a lot of really good networking and being able to provide people value. I know a lot of people talk about that, but it's one thing doing it and implementing it versus talking about it, which ironically, you have to talk to do it. Just not, it can't be like this thing where you're regurgitating information. Like the implementation has to happen. It has to be tenfold. Like for every 15 distributors I originally first reach out to, I may have only gotten contact with 1 or 2. But what happens when you do good business with 1 or 2 is now those other 13 that didn't respond are now reaching back out to you wanting to know why you're spending so much money with their friends. How you can start spending so much money with them. Yeah. And it's wild the way that starts to build momentum. We're going to one of the largest distribution events here at the end of the month, and I will be acquiring bigger and larger government contracts. A lot of that's courtesy to the key to the city that we acquired. For those that don't know, after I acquired the business from Tommy, I moved a lot of the business to Sarasota, Florida. I have a family here. I work a lot, but I want to stay close to my family. We did a lot of hurricane relief, but we also brought a lot of money into the city within 90 days. It was about 90 days, right? Mm-hmm. And it was recognized politically. And because of that, you get political help. You help people out, they want to help you out. It's no different than distribution. So now we're plugged into this. I'll be able to offer you guys probably even better margins and a quicker return time. I just hope that you guys get in before the prices increase.
So we just had a bunch of new people join and they're asking how much to get started again.
Oh Lord.
Maybe we could pin that comment. Maybe we could type it and pin it or something. Just might be easier.
Yeah.
Because we don't, I know for me, I wouldn't want to continuously repeat the price. I get it. If you are just tuning in, hopefully you guys, well, if you're just tuning in, there's not really much more for me to say, but definitely if you're on my page, obviously give my man, Sales God, obviously a follow, and just pay attention to the stuff that he's posting, the stuff he's saying. Also, Automation Empire page, which is the business page.
Right.
Just starting to use that page a lot more.
I'd say vice versa too. If you guys have been following me too for a little bit, follow Tommy at T-Rod. He's the guy that I actually bought the company off of. He pioneered a lot of this in the automation space. There was no Amazon automation before he came along. Yeah. A lot of this literally transpired just from a conversation that we had, and I'm not gonna be honest with you. I told him not to do it. It was a lot of liability. There was a lot of moving parts. He figured it out, and I just took it and I ran with it.
Again, keep in mind, it was extremely fucking stressful. It was very stressful. And like I said, after I went on Grant Cardone, Ask the Pro, like I was already doing good. People who couldn't afford my mentorship for 2, 3, 4, 5K, 10K, when I was coaching people, like all of a sudden the people that couldn't afford the coaching to learn how to do drop shipping, when I came out and I was 15 grand, like an introduction price, the people that I didn't think had any money, all of a sudden knocking on my door to, hey, I have some money for you. I have some money for you. Because people, it's all about value.
Yep.
People, it's a perceived value. You may not find value for 5K for learning how to do it yourself because you know that you're not going to do the fucking work.
Right.
Well, you know what? I got 15K if I can let the experts do all the work for me. He's been doing it for 4 years, 5 years at this point, or 3. When I launched, it was like 3.5 years, whatever. I was obviously doing drop shipping. So it just made more logical sense to pay the experts to do the work for you. That's why when you need oil changed in your car, you don't traditionally do it yourself. You pay somebody else to change your freaking oil.
That's so true. And that actually leads me into something else that we're commonly asked is why do we do this? If we're so good at it, why don't we do it for ourselves? Well, one, I can develop multiple appreciating, compounding, cash flowing assets. Also, even the people that make the most money, if you guys are actually in the space, you follow people like Priscilla or Milet or even Cardone. Cardone holds Cardone Capital. He funnels a bunch of people's money into real estate. He turns that money into more money. He cash flows it out for you. He's close to being a billionaire. He doesn't need more money. The idea is he understands building relationships, building value, trust with people, being able to teach people how to do things that they're going to do. And we literally can do the same thing based off of what we're currently doing.
Yeah.
Now, if I acquire what we're currently going through with the broker's license and we can continue to flip this, now not only can I cash flow it, but when I say it's an appreciating asset, I can also help you sell it in the future if that's what you choose to do, which I will help you do because now I'm doing everything from point A to Z. It's more work on my part, but it's also the reason why I adopted this. I know it front and back, so I will help you do it.
And once you make your money back, whether it's within his time frame, 12 months, 8 months, 10 months, whatever the time frame is, and then on top of that, you could still sell it. That's one thing you couldn't do with the drop shipping business model. You couldn't really sell it. You could maybe sell your store if it had a lot of feedback and a lot of other stuff, but to sell it as a whole and already have certain feedback, certain requirements to certain products, yeah, and distributions, it's a big cash flow, especially towards the end. And a lot of people, since I even been in the Amazon game since 2014, I've seen people do FBA. I've seen people sell stuff 5 years later for millions and millions and millions of dollars doing the FBA business model, wholesale or private label, whatever the case is. I personally just never got into it because I was so comfortable doing the drop shipping model, and it's worked so long for me, and the margins that we were giving people were still insane freaking results. And again, I didn't want to change something if it didn't need to be fixed. Right. So, I mean, that's, again, why I just kind of stayed that path. And, you know, if people were happy with the numbers, then that made me happy.
Right. That's where me and Tommy do a really good job at being a team. He's really good at don't fix what's not broken. I have a very hard problem with ever staying still. I like to change shit. And that's where he's like, if you really want to do this, then you're the best person to come in for fit. And that's really why, for the new people coming in, the acquisition even took place to begin with. It's just something I didn't mind modifying. Again, there was a lot of legwork that was put into doing it, but if I could get better margins, a better sellout, a better turnaround, a better experience, I was going to do it. It wasn't the previous one was a bad one. It worked, but this is a better one. It is. There was just more moving parts, more training involved. I had to turn a company that was trained on doing something one way into doing something entirely different. It doesn't matter that they were all involved with Amazon. It's a different fulfillment method. It's different product research. It is a different type of shipping, packaging, labeling, acquiring assets, licensing. Like it's not even close to being the same thing, but it's been done for your guys' benefit.
Do we own our own warehouses?
One is on a lease to own. The other one is being currently rented. I think that we're going to upgrade the Minnesota one. I don't like the size of the space, so I'm very glad that decision was made before we even came in, because I plan on expanding really, really fast. What you guys will find if you guys study anything with distributions is the majority of big distributions are located on the east side of the states. So I want one north and I want one south. And right now I'm having a hard time holding products up there, so we are probably going to expand relatively soon, and I'll probably end up buying that one out.
If I already have an Amazon account, can we change the inner workings and I pay for your services?
It's possible. If you guys have a previous store, especially if it's being ran by somebody else or yourself, let us look at the metrics, because if you guys have poor metrics, here's the thing with a lot of people, they expect me to guarantee somebody else's work. And if somebody else screwed up your account, I can't fix what was previously done. Like, I don't have a magic eraser where I can just be like, move. I'm not a genie. I'm close, but I'm not a genie. If it's not bad, I can take it over and I can run it and I can make you money, but I can't fix what's already fucked up.
What is normal time frame for ROI for the $35K investment?
12 to 18 months is average. I'll probably return it a lot faster if you can give me the capital in time. You have a 24-month guarantee.
Are we still working with the Colombian office?
Yes. Yes. I've been there 4 times in the last 3 months. They're doing very well with the difference. 3 times? 4 times? 3 times in the last 4 months. It's been a lot and no sleep. Sorry, guys. But I also don't lie. So 3 times in the last 4 months, and a lot of internal meetings based off of the changes, and they're doing great. We have a lot of profitable people already, so I expect to make you one of them very soon. Next.
I said thank you. Someone's really about smelling your guys' feet on here.
Oh.
I mean, OnlyFans may be coming soon if you want to subscribe.
OnlyFans automation.
That's right.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's about all I'm getting right now.
Okay.
There's
Is there any ugly comments?
No.
I don't have any active
Smell your
nudes.
feet, smell your armpits.
Smell my feet, smell my armpits, huh? I put on some deodorant this morning, so that might have helped.
I didn't.
Yeah, sucks for you. I put on some Dior. Dior, that's good stuff.
It's really not that great.
Blue Chanel and
You
Dior.
need 1 million by Paco Rabanne.
Yeah,
Lots of people are saying
I
thank
have
you.
that too.
You're welcome. I appreciate you all. For real. I really appreciate you guys.
This angle looks so much better than
If
this.
anybody has any other questions, you have 2 minutes to drop it now, and we're going to end this live.
They're really fixated on the OnlyFans
I
automation.
am not. doing.
I mean,
actually.
I never say never
Stop.
with me. I'm just saying, for me, you never know. I mean, I've thought about just busting it, bust down, Tatiana. I don't know. You never know. I am a free man. Like, basically, I could do that.
If you do want to start a side project, I actually got a couple ideas.
Well, I do too. OnlyFans.
I have
Only
a-
pervs.
I have a processor.
Wrote it. I think we should end on that note.
Okay, all right. Look, for real. Oh, we got one long one. If it's about my feet, I'm not answering.
Yeah.
If I had a store a couple years ago and it got suspended, do I still need to pay a renewal fee?
No, DM me.
I already own my store. What's the next step?
DM me.
They're saying T-Rod blessed up.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Forget the other guy.
Yeah.
Yep, that's about it.
We do appreciate everyone coming on. And again, hopefully this video gave a lot of clarity and people stop asking me, did you sell? Do you still run it? Can I get a store? I mean, everyone that hits me up, I just keep sending them to Sales God's page. Like, hey, hit him up. Look, I'm going to be honest. It's real simple. Follow instructions.
Well, that's it. Like, I can't.
It's not hard.
Help me help you. Don't make it more difficult. I've had a fucking abundance of people randomly hit me up talking about buying a store within the last year. None of you guys have replied to the emails, the new buyout, the acquisition, the
They talk
text
all this shit.
messages. It's like, how am I supposed to help you if you can't even respond to what's going on? Reach out to me so I can take care of you. The sooner you reach out to me, the sooner I can take care of you. That's how that works.
That's the other thing that I'll be honest that I got sick of. I got sick of the countless DMs from me. And it was like, people couldn't book a call, people couldn't do this. And I'm like, why waste fucking time? And I was answering a lot of my DMs personally.
True.
So for me, again, that's just one thing I got sick of. Look, if you're hitting them up, you understand that you have whatever the cost is. Let's say highest package, 35K or 45. At least if it was me, try to have at least more than double that so that you're not putting yourself in a situation where you can't put food on the table. You can go 12 months or 14 months or 16 months or 8 months without that money. Because then expect that it may take longer to make your money, and you want to make sure that put yourself obviously in a good position. Of course, he's got funding options and a few other ways that you can make the money to leverage the money that you already have or the money in your bank, whatever the case is. But that's just my personal opinion. Again, do as you wish, of course. But yeah.
Last one.
Do Ron and Automation Empire do the majority of the work?
We do all of the work. Ron and Automation Empire do all of the work. What I need you to do is go through a Zoom call. This is how seamless I've made this. Now through the onboarding process, you book a Zoom call after starting your business entity, and I have a secondary company. Oh, the live ended.
Oh, because it's probably been an hour.
Shit.
Well, that's all right. It's still going here. We got another.
we'll go
Fuck,
in.
it ended. All right, well, if you're still watching this and this is a clip,
Secondary company.
gang,
Right?
gang.
You guys will get a chance to be able to walk through with them how to set up a business entity if you don't know how to. They'll get you tax exempt. They'll go through your resale certificate, and then you get a Zoom call with us. We'll start your Amazon account. Like, everything is so easy, like handheld, dummy proof is the best way to put it. That there is no way that you cannot get this. Like, you're just not out for yourself. I'll also give you the packet if you don't want to talk with the team and like you're a super introvert. Cool. I'll still tell you how to do it without having to talk to anybody. But outside of doing that, because it's still your asset, still your business entity, we run everything from there after you set it up. You just give us third-party access, and all I need you to do at the end of the month is just click a bill pay that's QuickBook invoiced. That's it. It is that simple.
Remember, this is chess, not checkers, baby.
It is chess.